Our US sessions in the last 4 months is up 847%. So we had last year we had 800 sessions. This year we got 7,500 sessions. You know, our sales are up 75% over the last 4 months in the UK. So that's like Clavio retail. That's like
Yeah, that's the
retargeting.
thing. It isn't just Facebook
Mhm.
marketing with you guys as well. We've seen such amazing response from our Clavio flows as well.
Yeah,
So
the
that's
what?
another thing.
Yeah, it's just so much information out there. There's so many
There's a lot
different
of
opinions on
noise.
what you can do. It's just nice to have a safe pair of hands with everything in one place and be like,
Mm.
we've kind of done this research for you. We've failed for you, and we know what is the most repetitive action you can take to keep people coming back to your site. So yeah, UK sales going up by 75%. Our US sales have increased 432%. And that was pretty much from the second we started testing, actually.
Yeah, it was
It was
pretty
quite
instant.
immediate. It was quite immediate. Yeah. The challenges I think I was facing was I just hit a very natural, what I'm realizing now is natural plateau after a certain amount of years. I think I'd sort of spent all the organic traffic that was gradually growing year on year out for the first maybe 4 or 5 years of the business that I took for granted was just starting to plateau and even actually come down a little bit. And obviously allowed me to be a bit complacent the first 4 or 5 years, just like, oh, we sell more every year. This is great. I'm not having to do much work.
Mhm.
And then slowly plateaus and then starts to come down the other end and just not really knowing, tried a few things to kind of get it back up and running again and get it kickstart it in the right direction, but failed. And then just to run sort of a lack of confidence really in myself at being, thinking, oh, the intrusive thoughts start to come in of like, oh, you were just lucky, you just had 5 good years, and now it's just going to like tail off. So that was like the challenge we were facing, and that's what I was kind of trying
Mm.
to correct, looking for help to correct.
Yeah, you definitely knew it was advertising that we needed to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we tried a few like different people, didn't we? And they weren't really having much success, and we were a bit like, because it was all they were doing everything, and they were just sort of giving us, being like, oh, they were talking to us about the website a lot, weren't they? And being like, you need to improve it, all this stuff, and you need to do all this work to improve the website. But we were sort of like, but what audiences? We were trying to be like, what audiences are you doing? Like, what are the ads that you're even putting out? Like, we weren't really getting much information back off them. So I think I struggled with the lack of control over
Yeah.
over that a little bit as well. And yeah, we weren't really getting any straight answers why the
And
advertising wasn't
transparency from them.
working. Yeah, exactly.
I also had a friend who kind of said he understood this sort of thing and he set up the ads for me and that was great and they were profitable for a month or so. But then when they started to kind of, you know, tail off and entropy sets in, he didn't really have any ideas to sort of start it back up again. He was just like, oh well, yeah, that's what happens. And I was like, I
Yeah.
just really hate that. Like, I mean, we have differences and similarities, but I think both of us really like the information and like to know what's going on. We don't do well with
Mhm.
just handing the reins over and
In hindsight, we were quite naive as well because
yeah.
obviously we didn't even really create content for the ads that we were like giving them. It was more just like still life imagery, and it was how we wanted the brands to look and all like slick and minimal because that's how what our taste is. So now looking at what we've done with the help of you guys, it's so obvious why the ads weren't working.
My personality is I get distracted very, very easily. That's one of my traits. I jump from one thing to the other. I'll see one thing that needs fixing and I'll start fixing it. And then before I've fixed that, I've moved on to something else. Uh, and so just yeah, not really making like concrete progress in like one direction. And that was I guess that was kind of the thing I was doing. I was trying to put out fires that I saw as they were coming up, but really like looking back now, I just think like, wow, I was just really like wasting quite a lot of time and just doing stuff that really didn't have any kind of didn't change anything. And that goes back to what Charles said about the one of the agencies ran our ads and then immediately started saying, well, we're getting the traffic to the website, but they're not converting. So it's the website's problem. And we need to change the landing page. We need to change the product page. We need to change this. I was thinking, hang on a minute, like I'm paying you to like, and you've promised all this stuff, and I'm paying you to do this, and then immediately you've tried one thing and gone, ah, well, it's the website. But like on the initial call, when they first reach out to you, they go, I've
Yeah.
been on your website, it's fantastic.
Mm.
All you need is some ads and you'll be
Yeah.
flying.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, all right,
Yeah.
probably that great. So yeah, that's kind of what I was doing. I was just sort of stuck in that limbo. And Charles had only recently joined the business as well. So just had a real pressure at that point because things were going so well, and then Charles had come on, and then things started to go in the wrong direction. I thought like, okay, we really need to take some big action here to steer it back onto in the right direction. And yeah, picked right, it would seem. We make custom board games. The first one I ever made was a custom version of Monopoly for Charles. It's probably 2017 now, 2018.
It's
And
before that, I think, 2015.
yeah, so I was basically stuck for a gift for her one year, and we've been playing a lot of board games, like as we now do in our relationship. But like we were playing a lot of board games at the time, and I was thinking I want to do something personalized. I want to do something special. It's like it's a nice gift for birthday, but I couldn't think of anything. And yeah, I don't know how it just came to my mind. I just thought I'm gonna change all the properties on a Monopoly board to like the local places where we live in London and places we've been on holiday. And I did that. And just like the response obviously from you was great. You loved the gift, but all of her friends and all of my friends were like, I want one. So then I made them for them. And it just sort of went on from there. I just thought I'm just going to bang it online on Etsy, see if it
Mhm.
sells, made a few sales. And that sort of started off just an organic kind of, a few more sales the next year, a few more sales the next year. Um, and I think at the time I was just doing, had my 9 to 5 job that I was doing in the background. And I wasn't really thinking, oh, this will be the thing that, saves me from that and gets me out of that. But um, I'm just a creative person, liked designing the games myself and liked, doing all that sort of stuff. But just the reviews that we get are like so nice. You just hear such lovely things. People are like, oh, I gave this for a 60th birthday or a 40th birthday. We just like loved all the details of the game and having all these like, laughing at like funny stories and in jokes of the family or like, you know, remembering things that have happened and putting them down on the cards really, really nice. Yeah, that's what's I think that's what's really driven me is that kind of feeling that I'm not just making a product and just like chucking it out there to be used for a few months or years and then chucked into landfill. Like I'm making stuff that people want to actually treasure and just will keep in their family forever. As I left my 9 to 5 job and became a full-on solo, entrepreneur, then the goals get higher and you think, right, okay, I need to support my family and I need to push this further and what can I do and how can we expand and things like that. And now we both work for it, which is great. A lot of our sales are done at Christmas,
Like 50%
about
of our
50% of our sales. But
Yeah.
the goal for me was really to get a little bit more of a controllable scalability at times that weren't Christmas.
Mhm.
Christmas is quite, you can sort of take it for granted. I'm not going to now, but like, those 3 months are pretty solid and always have been. But the other months, sometimes it can just dry up. And I really wanted to be able to. The goal when I started was I want to try and double the monthly sales from the months that aren't Christmas. I did feel a lot of anxiety on a day-to-day basis. Working for yourself and setting your own hours and being your own boss, as I'm sure you know, is you need discipline to do that, but you also to separate your home life and to separate your work life is quite challenging. And when your work life is causing you stress and anxiety, which is the reason I became self-employed in the first place, was to try and eradicate those feelings. And when they start creeping back in and you start having all that self-doubt on, am I going to be able to support my family with this? Is this the right thing? Should I be thinking about a 9 to 5 as a backup? All this sorts of stuff. I wasn't really looking for like I wasn't really looking for somebody to come in and just do it all for me and that's another thing that I said and to Shaw when I was thinking of doing this, I didn't want someone to just come in, take it off me, and run away with it, because I had considered selling the business, and just cashing in, because we did get organic sales and there was a value to the business, but when you've built something over like 5, 6, 7 years, I just didn't want to like give up.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just felt like I needed what I was looking for, and was somebody to give me a very structured and very direct route that I could learn from and follow, and then take on sort of like after the process was finished. Um, because a lot of agencies were saying to me, once we get things up and running and we get your ads firing, then we're going to take 10% commission of ad spend or 20% commission of ad spend, just like ongoing.
Mhm.
And I just really didn't sit right with me, really, the whole sort of like, even if I was doing even if they were doing the work or I was doing the work, once things had sort of been created and set up and were running, it just didn't sit right with me that there was like an ongoing commissioning thing. It just didn't seem sustainable for growth either. So just to add another expenditure,
Mhm.
because margins are sort of tight already, aren't they, when you're doing this sort of thing? I feel like when I sat down on the sofa and I said, Charles, I'd like to spend some money. And I pitched this idea. I said, right, I've made a decision. I've made a decision. This is what I want to do. I feel like you could probably answer this question better than I can. Did I seem skeptical, or did I seem pretty confident?
I think it's you're always a little skeptical because of the experience that we've had, like that we'd
Mhm.
had previously. But I would say that when you had, watched the videos, done the research on the brands, and then had the call, you were really confident in For Good Profits, like
Hmm.
as like the one for you, I think.
I
You
watched a lot
seemed
of,
very, very confident that
yeah,
they would be the right fit for us
yeah.
as a brand.
I think I had a gut feeling, and I think that the call obviously, gave me some confidence as well. But really, I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of videos with you and past business owners that had done the course. I then followed their website link, went to their website, saw a lot of similarities and things on the websites, and thought, okay, well, these guys have got some consistent like learnings across here. Found some of the products I thought were great, um, and just just did my own research basically, and thought, yeah, I can see why this is, how this is working. I researched, found some ads that people were running of these businesses that had been successful, and everything just seemed to line up. Really, I guess there weren't any kind of, I guess there just weren't any red flags really.
Mm.
Which with a lot of companies that there are things like I mentioned before, where they just say like, "Wow, we could change this on your website," and you're thinking, "Well, we're not going to change my website. I'm going to change my website." You're like, "Oh, we could change the product." Like, yeah, that's an easy thing to just throw out that statement, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
worked for
Yeah.
years on this thing.
But I also think a lot of agencies, they like to just throw loads of information at you so that they
Mhm.
seem like it's like, oh, well, they know what they're talking about, and I don't have a
Mhm.
clue of any of the terms they're using or like anything that they're talking about. So they obviously are like the oracle in this. But actually, the videos of you guys and like almost the simplicity of like, yeah, like the sweets one, like being like that, these are the 3 things that you need to do to grow your business, and like the focus of that,
Yeah,
that what's what really drew you in as well.
yeah, and there was a real lack of screenshots of monthly sales, which is like,
Can't
you
stand
know,
that. Yeah,
yeah. Oh my God,
yeah,
120,000 last month. Like, would you like this
yeah,
for your company? It's like
yeah.
anybody could just create a draft order of 100,000, just like
That's right.
screenshot their Shopify
Yeah,
and say, look at me. There was
yeah.
a
Or
real
you
lack of that
want a
with you guys.
Ferrari or a Lambo or something,
Yeah.
There was a real lack of that, which I respected, because that's all you see in all these other agencies.
Mm.
Big flashy numbers and big green arrows,
Mm.
and not a lot of human interaction, and that
Mm.
sort of thing.
The structure of the whole program and it just being so well laid out, and yeah, that really really surprised me, and actually I ended up taking the lead, and then sort of you work well with like a structured to-do list that I provide for you,
Yeah.
so that you're like more focused.
Yeah.
Because you're amazing at like so many things, but it is the scattiness sometimes that gets in your way. So it was really amazing that it really played to both of our strengths. And I think that surprised us, that we actually worked completely together, but I took the lead on it, which yeah, we didn't expect at all.
Originally, my plan was, is it okay if I do this marketing course? I think this could turn things around for us, but it's gonna take a lot of my time up. So can you run the business in the background? And yeah, it ended up that you took the lead with the marketing, because like Charles says, it fed so much into her strengths, just like it being so structured and so direct, and like, you can just follow it step by step by step and learn and go back and watch it. It's not like I think having a call with someone and someone just telling you a bunch of information, you going great, and then you go off and do it. You think, what did they say about that? Oh, I don't know. Whereas like you just go back and reference it every single time. You can just search for that, what did they say about this, and you just go back and search it. You can find it straight away.
I think the other main thing was that the course isn't just about Facebook marketing. It taught us so much about our brand, literally from like the origin. So like all the mindset modules, and then like really just digging into the offer and the avatar, and just like sort of taking it back to square one and making sure we're doing everything correct and everything's going to be consistent for the brand. I sort of didn't expect that thorough training to be within this course. I thought it was sort of just going to be like, you guys have got this business, here's how you do the advertising, like go for it. But that was so invaluable, just like really taking a step back. And because it's so difficult when you're in the details all the time. So taking that step back and being like, right, just let's reframe everything, start from scratch. What do we need to do, and where do we want to go? Like that was amazing.
I think I also, from a personal point of view, I thought that the course was going to be a one size fits all, follow this step by step process and you will have success. And I was kind of happy with that. I was thinking, yeah, great. There's some secrets to marketing. People are gatekeeping. People are gatekeeping them, but these guys are gonna tell me them if I join this course. And it was completely different. And I think and just that thinking back now, it's a ridiculous thing. It's a ridiculous concept to think like, oh, there's just one magic thing that you need to do for marketing, and like we'll let you know if you pay us. Like that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept. But actually joining the course and learning that, there are some one size fits all rules that can be followed by your business, but every single business is different. Every single product is different. And you really just have to like use those rules and use those learnings and teachings, like from your side of thing, apply it to your business, and really just like Charles said, it just makes you look at your business in such a critical way. Just like cut out all the stuff that was hurting it, and really just focus on the stuff that works. Our US orders were kind of very few and far between, really, primarily UK orders. But the way that UK VAT works, every time we make a sale in the UK, 20% of the top line just goes to the tax man straight away. And so my idea when sort of starting this was, well, we don't have to pay VAT on sales in America. So we've got 20% of our margin here that we can basically just chuck into ad spend. So we've just specifically marketed in America
with cold traffic.
Yeah, the retargeting stuff is obviously worldwide. But obviously they're like a few hours behind us. So like I guess the exciting thing for us is that we'll like go to bed in the evening and we'll be like, wake up to a sale.
We'll wake up to US orders.
We'll be like, yeah, it goes totally against the mindset teachings of not opening your phone when you wake up. But like it's just too tempting to,
or like midnight being like,
it's too tempting to wake
noise comes through on your phone.
Roll over and be like, the US sale.
Yeah.
and then running to the laptop and like checking to see where it's from. And so there's that sort of moment when you get like proof of, okay, the offer works. They've resonated with the offer. The audience works. So we've picked the audience. Like it really gives you a great sense of achievement and just that you're understanding your customer really. It's really nice to design an ad specifically for a specific type of person. And then with our games that we make, we have a lot of interaction with the customer. So we get really like specific, detailed reviews, which is great. But we also, half the time, we see photos of our customer. Like they get us to make cartoons of their family to put on our board games. So like we're thinking, right, I think that we're looking for sort of like Midwest like mums with big families that like to get together on like a Sunday, like to have like, food, and their kids are a bit older and things like that. And then we'll design an offer, and then ka-ching, and that person orders, they send through a photo of their family, and we're like, that's the exact person that we wanted to sell to.
Yeah.
If you're really wanting to like scale your business and take it to a place where organic sales, I don't think they can take, as a person that feels like they've just exhausted all of the organic sales that they can get from their brand, and really scale it to a place where it can just give you that freedom, to bring your wife on board and work for the business, get other people to work for you as well, and just scale that. I think it's such a good tool, and resource to give you that opportunity. I think, that the main takeaway that I had from it was that it isn't it isn't just going to do the work for you. There's work to be done there, but like I wanted to learn myself, how can I do this, how can I learn how to do this, how can I take this for years to come in my business, and just carry on going. I didn't want just like a 6-month crash course and then I'm on my own again. And I also didn't want support for the rest of my life. I just wanted to come in, learn what I needed to learn, and then take it and, succeed. If you're skeptical, I've done a lot of research here, and I've done on these guys, and I've also done the course all the way through start to finish. And yeah, just take the plunge. Just like bet on yourself and bet on these guys, and you won't regret it.
Yeah, I think it's like moving forward now, we've just got so much confidence that we've got all the knowledge, we've still got the resources available as well if we want to go back and look at all the videos, and I've got every single Google document saved as a copy, and like our own little versions of things, and now we know how to work with constraints. If there's anything stopping us or holding us back, we feel like we know how to get rid of them and like move forward. So I mean, it's just invaluable tool to have, that we can just now do it all ourselves, and even we might decide to start another business in the future, and then we can just do it all again and use the same framework, and yeah, it's really exciting.